want to let's start this podcast by I want to start this podcast, excuse me, by asking you guys how you genuinely felt. Like, how did you? I mean, you guys all made your videos on YouTube; they're out there. I will link that in the description, by the way. But all right, like real time, real talk. Like, how did you guys actually feel about this game? Savix, so let's hear your thoughts.
All right, you guys went on all the things I wanted to kind of cover. What you said is super true, Moxie. If they could get rid of that jankiness and smooth it out, I would absolutely love it. But I've just been glazing this game all over the place because, yeah, I really like it because what you said.
Chill.
It's like, yeah, I'm chill right now. Guys, sponsor me. Anyways, when I first played World of Warcraft in Classic, I didn't do the quest. I explored around and PvP'd and just found new things, right? This game feels like that. I'm like super new to it. I'm exploring things. What Moxie said, there's like towers you could climb and there's like chests up there. There's like puzzles you could solve. And I randomly run into a dungeon and it says you should go in a recommended eye level, but I just go in and I beat it and it feels great. It feels like there is a great difficulty, but you could do the challenges if you want to and you could kill it if you're kind of good at the game, right? And there's these like boss fights in each gates. I did up to 3 because I didn't know there was a 4th one. There was a 4th one, right, Cannon?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought 3 was the last one, but there's these bosses. It's playing in my screen right now, but it's basically Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and I absolutely love Elden Ring, right? So I get my ass whipped like over and over again. I'm getting frustrated, but I keep constantly pushing it. And then when you finally beat it, it's like,
it feels good.
That's what like gaming is about, right? That frustration, and then you finally master the fight and you beat it, and it feels so good, and it has that potential, right? And then there's like world bosses around the world. I want to get my friends in to play and kill the bosses. It's been great. It feels like a good MMO. I'm just getting like lost in the sauce. I got to do like a bounty to kill one of the bosses, and I'm just like ending up chopping wood, or I'm like, oh my god, there's this fire tree I need to get. I'm chopping that up, and then I run into more chests or like a little glowing puzzle. I go there. Like, it's very distracting. In a way, it's like a hybrid World of Warcraft, kind of like Genshin Impact, I guess. I don't know if that's good to say, but Genshin has like these like
I see it.
These like puzzles and solving stuff like all around the places. And I know MMO players love that, especially like in WoW or FF. They love like puzzle or collecting stuff. So that part was really fun for me. I had fun. So if they get the janky or like the little FPS drops on the mobs, I think it'll be fun. Good. I also want to say like I like the aesthetic and the environmental design and the concept design of the characters. It's like medieval times.
Dark.
Yeah, I like
dark
that.
I
wanted WoW to always go to that direction, but they always do like these fruity, colorful content. Like, I like this dark stuff.
So, see, here's the thing.
What's that?
You are Korean, sir.
Yes.
And I know you're American.
Yes.
But, you know, it's kind of we have that gene where we're just attracted to edgy.
Yeah, we're attracted to like the edgy stuff.
But your ass plays WoW.
Yeah, WoW.
Okay?
That's why classic WoW. I've been playing that because retail WoW has been super colorful and you know, fruity pebbles, man. It's crazy.
I gotta ask you, man. How do you think? Honest question. Give me an honest answer. How do you think the WoW community is going to? How do you think they're going to feel about Chrono Oddessy? I feel like you're not going to be thrilled.
Okay, I don't know how you guys feel about your communities from the Descendant or Canon. You're like Throne and Liberty, right? Kind of.
Sure.
You're the face of Throne and Liberty. Yeah. Also, I kicked Sony's ass in 1v1 in Chrono Odyssey. He kept telling me to come duel him.
Wait, you
2-0, 2-0.
Wait,
2-0, baby.
You guys dueled? I didn't know you guys dueled. Where's the video to that?
Wait, is it not? I don't know. Comics edits my video. Maybe he cut it out. I don't know.
Bro, you need to upload that. I want to watch that.
No, we were both bad. We were both bad, but 2-0, baby. Okay.
Of course, you know.
On what characters?
I played the. I wanted to be like Guts, so I played the two-hander sword, and then I go Fury mode right after.
Dual blades, yeah. And he played.
He played like this Kratos guy. It was like he would like throw chainsaws around and ice and one. I was like, whoa, what is that? Yeah.
And you beat him.
sorry, going back to your
We need to
MMOs.
talk more about this later, but yeah, okay.
From my MMO perspective, these guys are very tribalistic and closed-minded. Like, they think their version is the best. They even hate themselves in their own kind, which is like classic WoW and retail WoW. They hate it on each other. And I always say, guys, it's the same WoW, it's just played differently, and each versions have good sides of it, right? Like, each of them have its own uniqueness and fun part, but they don't see that, and they just like to play what they've been doing forever because they're good at it, obviously. And if they play something new, they're gonna be bad at it and be made fun of, right? And no one wants to be like made fun of or play something they're not
They
good
want to
at,
be
so.
doing the making fun of. Sure.
Yes. You could probably see it in like streams. Any streamer that plays a new game, you're gonna get like egg thrown all day, right? But that's the fun part about it. Anyways,
Sure.
yeah, I hope they're open-minded, but number one thing I can already see them saying is like, oh, Korean game, Omega LOL, pay to win Omega LOL. Like, they're not even gonna play it and they're gonna complain all that already. So their mindset is like kind of closed. Not all of them though. A lot of them, half and half maybe. Half and half. There are a good amount of players that play every game. Like, I could name a bunch of my friends that play WoW. They like RuneScape, Final Fantasy, Lost Ark. Like, they play all of them. But there are those ones that are like die-hard WoW fans that never play anything. But yeah, I believe this game said they will not go the pay-to-win direction and made that pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made that pretty damn clear. So anyone watching,
That was a good interview.
What about the how did so the jank, Savix, because Moxie was explaining the jank. Like, what else felt janky to you other than what Moxie mentioned? Is there anything else that you felt like, yo, I really think they need to clean these things up?
You guys kind of covered the monster like stuttering a little bit, right? That part. And then if I join a group, like I've grouped up with Stoops to do these bounties, and when I party up with him, it seemed like Stoops was like running in a little stuttery way. But when I'm playing solo, I didn't really realize that. But when I looked at other people, it like stuttery, and I don't think that's good. I also pointed out in like the feedback section, like there are some like lighting issues, and in caves, some of the lights are positioned incorrectly. But hopefully they fix those. And there's like guards that are like floating in some areas, because I think there were boxes in the bottom before, but now they're just floating.
Yeah.
I really want them to clean those up, because for MMO enjoyer, those matter. Like, they look at those details and they will meme and make fun of those. I remember in Final Fantasy they had like these grapes, and it literally was in shape of like a crystal. And yeah, MMO players like point those out and say, look at these guys, lazy or cheap. Like, you want to get rid of all those so that you get some respect and some honor in the MMO.
I agree. I think a lot of, I think it's, especially with MMOs, a lot of the smaller details really go a long way, and that's like, in my opinion, one of the biggest things they need to polish up on. I didn't really, I mean, outside of like a few things, but generally most of the stuff that I had big issues with or had an issue with was just was the amount of small things. Like, for example, you guys did Chrono Gate 3, right? Fucking boss is literally above the fucking floor.
Okay, I thought that was only me
by
bugging.
like 2 or 3 feet. Nope. He's just floating there 2 or 3 feet, and then when you start the fight, he's normal. Does that make the game objectively bad? Does that ruin your experience? Of course not. It's not a big deal. But it's a lot of those things that you'll see in the game that make you feel like this is not a AAA polished game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That for me is the biggest thing. But also it makes me a little bit more excited, because if I'm thinking, okay, if it's like that seems solvable, you know, like within the year, that seems like it's fixable. I don't know.
Yeah, the gameplay's there, the combat's there, and the boss mod, like everything, the graphic wise, and I don't know how you guys felt about it, but I liked when I swap over to my other weapons, it was Q, right?
Yeah, I switched it to tab.
So, oh, you switched to tab, okay. So in other games I played, there will be times where I press like 1, 2, melee swing, and then Q, and then do my other combo. Like, there will be like jankiness where I have to like spam it multiple times so that I know I get it across, right? But in this one, when I like press my combos like Q, 1, 2, 3, like Q, like it was smooth. It was registering really clean. I was surprised by
Yeah.
that. So like the
Yeah.
combat stuff is fleshed out. It's just like the little stuttery that doesn't look good, and maybe those aren't too hard to clean up, right?
Yeah.
So they need a
Specifically the
janitor to
weapon
like
swap.
clean it up
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
The weapon
Do you
swap
agree with
worked
that?
really well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right? I was telling
I
my
like
chat
that.
this too. I'm not a big weapon swapping fan. Like, I'm one of the guys that kind of leans on the side of, really, do we have to have weapon swap type of person?
Yeah,
honestly,
same.
I am. But so, but if it is going to have weapon swap, all right, let's see it. And in my opinion, and I've played a lot of games, obviously, like Guild Wars 2 and, well, Throne is kind of like a fake weapon swap, but this is probably, like, if we're just judging the weapon swapping and how it feels and the quality of it, I feel like this might be the best MMO when it comes to that system. It's just very smooth. It's very smooth. And if you play enough, and you were mentioning this in your video, Moxie, which I thought was a great video, there's some real application to the swipe. So you're not just swapping for the purpose of, oh, I'm out of greatsword cooldowns, let's swap. No, like you're actually swapping to activate certain things. Like, for example, you're out of vigor, swap to the expo, you have a passive that you chose in your skill tree that gives you full vigor back on swap. For example, right? Like they're like it's I feel like it's done pretty well. What did you think? If you can elaborate on it a little bit more, Moxie, what are your thoughts on not only that, but also just the combat in general?
I thought the weapon swapping tech was very interesting. My only complaint about it from like a build perspective is, at least from what I saw, there was only one bonus that you could pick from to swap. So like, for example, if you swap to the bow, your only option for the bonus for swapping was like 30% crit damage, which is very cool. But for the first 20 levels or not, you're not gonna have good enough gear to really benefit from crit stuff.
Sure.
And so you just don't have a huge benefit from that kind of stuff. So it'd be really cool that we have the character passives that have a few different things at level 10, 15, and 20, I think it was,
the masteries,
for those bonuses. I'd love to see them expand that to also include different bonuses for swapping, so you could kind of tailor make your playstyle a bit more, because if I use bow, this is the only bonus I can have if I swap weapons, was a little restrictive, because obviously if you're going to be swapping to the bow, it's just you kind of have to go play crit for that swap tech. But some of them were universal, and the crossbow one, swapping to get all of your mana back was pretty stupid. It was very, very impactful. I'd spam all of my abilities, and then swap to the crossbow and do my full DPS rotation again, which I was playing a dot setup, so I could just stack the dots over and over. So that worked really well, but it would be cool to have some more customization with that. In general, the weapon swap stuff felt pretty good. I'd be curious if they plan on adding more weapons to the characters as well. I think the 3 was really, really solid, but
you like
some
the
of
3 weapon
weapons,
swaps?
Yeah, some of the weapons. Oh,
I'm
no,
like
no,
canon.
not swapping between
I
three
like
weapons.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, just swapping between 2. But for example, I did feel the Berserker's chain blades did feel a little similar to the dual axes.
They did.
In terms of
okay.
in terms of playstyle, switch ups. So it'd be cool to see that expanded on in the future too. But overall, weapon swap combos and stuff like that, typically not a fan. But I thought they executed pretty well.
Why is your chat typing no?
Oh, it's an emote. It's an emote.
What? I'm just I don't have that in my chat.
It's
I'm
so
just
good.
hearing them Moxie is talking and your chat is just no. I'm what am I missing right now? This is
No!
bad. I invited these guys and I think I'm missing the
dude.
point. Combat. Let's talk about combat. We were already talking about combat here, but let's talk a little bit more about the combat. Okay, weapon swapping we've talked about. What about the combat as a whole? Because everyone is talking about this combat. It looks too slow, it looks too clunky, or it looks fine, it looks fast paced.
I think if you're
you
coming
guys
from,
had to describe it,
if you're coming from a WoW player, you're spamming buttons, right? But this one is more I guess kind of Lost Arky, where you're doing ability and weaving in right clicks, and some of them take a longer time to slam, right? I like that because they have the role system. Not a lot of MMOs have this. I think Lost Ark has a space, but WoW doesn't have this. Basically, it's like the Dark Souls roll, and if the bosses are doing like super big swings, you could roll. I think my character could do four rolls and he'll be exhausted. Obviously, you shouldn't be spamming that, but I like how you could frame, see when it's about to land, roll on the right timing. It feels very rewarding because you understand the game well, right? And WoW, it's just like you target the guy, you're just spamming buttons, everything lands on them. I hate that system. There are some skill shots nowadays, but still a lot of like just click and blast. FF is worse on that. Like they even like follow through walls in PvP. Anyways, yeah, for this game, I liked that you have the roll system and you could dodge a lot of abilities. And it feels good. If they're using like their ultimate and you dodge it,
feels good.
Oh, dude, that feels amazing, right?
That's true. That's true.
A lot of good reward system for combat, in my opinion.